I'm a little upset today with some messaging from developers, and I kind of like paused before I started this video, and I was like, I do not want this to be a rant video, but it is what it is. Let's get into what I'm not feeling right now today. Cosmic Crucible and auto raid compensation. Messaging on issues around Cosmic Crucible and auto raid launcher was published earlier this week. The patch has been buggy as all get out. The team has decided to send 2 compensation packages to all players for these 2 issues. Package 1, 3,000 Crucible credits and 1,500 Elite Crucible credits. Package 2, 600 Ultimate keys and 600 Alpha Raid keys. The team appreciates your patience while we work quickly to address these issues. The compensation could cover any players who are not able to adjust the room issues, and this week will run as is without any changes to state rules, and the scores won't be adjusted. Next week, trials of Cosmic Crucible launch and fix with room rules, and we'll keep you updated about the raid auto launch feature. Additional thank you. The team wants to give you the scoop that Captain Carter will be added to the Cosmic Crucible store on August 24th, so feel free to use these gold credits towards the shards of Reborn Star support. Firstly, I feel that the bugs in Cosmic Crucible are absolutely unacceptable. Room 1, maybe would have, it took a couple of us to test it to figure out what's going on in Room 1. Room 5, also same thing. Literally, you could have gone into Room 4 with any team that gives offense up and immediately seen within 20 seconds that the room was not working correctly. Room 6, you could have loaded up a battle and clearly saw that the specials were not costing correctly. So my question is this: how many people tested this? Did anybody test this at all? Does that person still have a job? And if so, can I have it? Because I want to get paid to do nothing at all. It's garbage. This game is expensive. Someone could spend 30 seconds testing and seeing that there was a problem with Room 4 and Room 6. Secondly, these rewards are garbage and useless and trash. And I want to say that not resetting the scores is unacceptable, and I'll explain why. About a year ago, when they came out with the Scourge with Morgan Le Fay, they leaned very, very heavily into leaderboards, and they are profiting off of our competitive nature. They've wanted us to feel passionate about winning and getting rewards in leaderboards, whether that is a Scourge event, whether that is a pay-to-win event where it's an auction, whether that is Crucible, where it's war, and they are absolutely profiting from one's competitive spirit to win. They need to have some competitive integrity and fix this stuff if they're going to profit off of it. If they're going to design a game around leaderboards and profit drastically off of this, then they need to make things right. For example, the other week, I had the game freeze on me. I contacted customer support and said, hey, the game froze on me. Here's the footage. Nothing. I don't want compensation. I want the game not to freeze. I don't want it to be buggy. And if it's not my fault, then I shouldn't lose the 400 points. Competitive integrity. This is garbage. If someone wasn't on top of what was going on with the borked out, 4 of the 6 rooms were working wrong, then why should anybody be penalized, whether they won or lost, on this week? And I don't care if it's expensive to reset it. Competitive integrity. The raids, same thing. The raid launcher was not working. It was borked. People lost out on their tickets. This doesn't fix anything. And people are not going to place as high as they should in their rank. The raid rewards, the milestone rewards. It's just trash. If they're going to build a game around leaderboards and people caring about where their alliance scores or where they score in Alliance War or where they score in a Cosmic Crucible or whatever, then they need to actually care about the game more than we do, or at least as much as we do. I feel like they don't play the game competitively. I'm sure there's Scopely employees over there. They're gifted an account that gives them $1,000 a month of free money, and they smash and they don't care. They don't know what it's like to play the game competitively and care and actually spend money and time on this game. It's trash. Absolutely trash. Also, the game director, which used to be Jason Bender and then it was Dugan, they both went off to Netflix. They posted on LinkedIn, that they're trying to hire this guy right here. And I just want to read the job description because I'm going to hold this guy, this next game director, accountable. Because one of the listings of his job description is give approval for completed game-related work before it goes live. I want to know who this next guy is. And when the next screw up on Cosmic Crucible, I want him to go on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter and apologize for the shit being broken because it's garbage. This is an expensive game. Care about your own game. Fix your game, Scopely. And if this is the guy that's supposed to do it, he should be accountable for this kind of stuff. 30 seconds of playing Room 6, anybody would have saw it's broken. It's garbage. Give everyone rank 1 rewards this raid season. State of the game after the updates. Bugs, 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 bugs. Bugs. All right. So I want to talk about this. This is about the Players Voice Council. And I initiated this conversation, and this entire post from the Players Voice Council was based off of a very long conversation that I had with the Players Council. And my concerns for the Player Council have to do with, is this just a council of Krakens? And the reason for that is that on Twitch, from time to time, people pop into chat and they say that the Players Council is just a council of Krakens. I've seen it in comments on YouTube videos. I've seen it in Reddit posts. And I talked to them because I wanted to know, right? If I'm gonna, first of all, I want the Players Council to be successful, and I most certainly don't want it to be a council of Krakens. And the reason why is the Krakens already have a council. Like in most mobile games, the top spenders in the game, the Krakens, if you will, have access to a concierge, some sort of player experience manager. That they already have direct access to the developers. And that's like a good business practice. I think that happens in most mobile games, right? And so I wanted to make sure that this wasn't that, and that there was going to be some sort of access to free-to-play players, and that this council is going to be successful. And so I talked to him about it because I had concerns myself. And I want to read this post from Evdog, who I have a lot of respect for. Happy Hump Day. We see the rumblings about the Player Council and the movement not being transparent and lacking free-to-play voices. And I had several issues. I don't know if I'm going to go into it in the video, but I just want to read this and then we'll move on. I'd like to address this to best of my ability. The movement was created for the sole purpose of including all voices. If we intended just to represent Kraken issues, we could have done so in the server we're in. He's acknowledging there already is a Kraken Council server already existing. The Players Council is made up of 2 elected reps from 4 spending buckets. Free-to-play adjacent, mid-level spenders, and Krakens. It's rounded out by 3 appointed members from the movement. We unanimously decided that if there were Scopely pushed back on including any of these voices, we would not do it. We usually don't draw lines in the sand, but this was the rare occasion that we did. Basically, what he's saying there is that if they said we don't care about free-to-play players, they were going to play hardball, which I think is very commendable, right? I understand the sentiment that because the free-to-play reps are not visible, it's hard to feel represented, but this decision was made because there's a lot of heat that comes with these positions. They hate the doxing, the request for personal favors. And then he mentions Sevi and Beta Ray Bill and myself are used to this. However, we didn't want to put anyone unnecessarily in front of that fire. There are several members of management and mods that are free to play and have a voice in the movement. In the future, we will highlight them more so you feel represented. However, our intention has and always will be for the good of the overall community. I'd like to add a little more transparency to the Players Council. We'd like to address matters with Scopely as a whole. Each rep puts their buckets and issues in the forum. We vote on what's most pressing and address them as a whole council. So no matter what the issue is from any bucket, the whole council supports it. I understand some issues affect more one group than another, but it's unfair to judge us on one or two actions while ignoring the entirety of our efforts. And one of the things that I brought up two things actually. Not that they're responsible, but issues that I have currently with Scopely is, the elimination of leaderboard events, where that was one of the only ways of getting Blue ISO 5, and the extreme disappearance of Blue ISO 5, which is unacceptable. And then also the milestone raid rewards for the every 2 weeks for the Alliance. It's super steep. Holy moly, it's super steep. When you get past that 1% and 2%, the 18s drop off, and the rewards are very good at the very top. It's like the rich get richer and it gets really bad. And then also the percent thing doesn't really work anymore because there's less alliances. And so, there's some problems. I want to just say this system's not perfect. So I'm optimistic that this is heading in the right direction. So I want to keep reading a little bit further. We currently are in a holding pattern, waiting for additional information from Scopely that will help us address matters more clearly. I don't think I'm letting out any secrets that this patch was a mess. Yeah, it set us back to have consistently pivot to address issues that weren't there yesterday, but it is what it is. This time last year, there was no medium to even address it. So although things aren't perfect, it is slightly better. In my experience, this is how change happens incrementally. We keep pushing until things are more good than bad. People forget how far on the bad side we started and expecting us to skip the process to get back to zero. It just doesn't work like that. I'd like to thank everyone who supported and continue to support us. For those upset, we hear you, and we'll try to adjust some of the things to alleviate your concerns. You guys should know we care just by the fact it took me 3 hours to type this. Yeah, that's sarcasm. So yeah, the system is not perfect. I'm optimistic, and I've been encouraged by the good things that have come from the Player Council. I think it could get better and better. And if you have concerns or want to get involved, I would recommend that. I'll put a link in the description to the Players Voice Discord movement. That way, you can judge for yourself. I talked to several community members that are free to play or light spenders that I trust, mods and things like that. And the consensus is that people are happy that there's at least something. And the way that I see this is that there always was access to the developers in Krakens, access to the developers from Envoys. Now there is an access through this pay, for this Player Council that, according to Scopely, they're actually interested in listening to. And if they can bring, free to play adjacent mid-level spenders issues to the forefront for the betterment of the community, I think that's a good thing. I think we should all be reasonably skeptical that Scopely is going to do anything at all. And they don't have a good track record. And I think I'm reasonably skeptical that this is going to work, but it has been working, and I'm somewhat encouraged by what they've been doing so far. Let's wrap up the video real quick. There's a symbiote to vote on the website. You get 100 energy and 100 power cores. Looks like Thanos is in second place. Silver Surfer 37%. They're all going to be bio, so you don't have to worry about the traits or anything like that. Vote for whatever you want. I voted for Thanos because I just love Thanos, right? Then also, they added in teal items inside the raid store. So I got 2.4 million credits, so I can now throw away 12,000, 14,000 for some teal pieces I might need. Also, 10x dark promotion credits. I like to open my red stores when there's 10x dark promotion credits. Then also, US Agent is now in the raid store, as well as in the raid orbs. And then lastly, there is a Photon Blitzing event. Pathfinder Gaming put out a very good video, including a blitz code, which you can use the marvelstrikeforce.com, and you can go in and update your roster, and then you can import his code if that's something that you're interested in doing. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.